World Order. A geopolitical dialogue.
Advertisements.
Elevate Governance with Business and Human Rights Workshop. Join us for an intensive 3-day workshop in Geneva hosted by the Geneva Nations Institute. Apply now for a transformative experience.
Hello and welcome to World Order, a geopolitical dialogue, the podcast where we dive deep into the current shaping our world's political landscapes. In each episode, we'll explore critical issues affecting global stability, engage with experts in the field, and dissect the implications of international policies. Whether you're a student of geopolitics, a policymaker, or just someone keen to understand the forces that shape our news headlines, this podcast is designed to give you insights and perspectives from corners of the globe that demand our attention. Today, we're focusing on the Middle East, a region where political games are not just about power, but survival. We'll look into recent escalations, historical conflicts, and the delicate balance of diplomacy. What are the stakes for local populations and international players? What solutions might lead to peace and stability? Stay with us as we unravel with your questions. So, whether you're listening from your morning commute or tuning in from across the world, let's get ready to watch closely, think critically, and understand more about the geopolitical dynamics that impact us all. Today we're delving into a topic that has dominated international headlines and stirred deep emotions and debates across the globe: the ongoing tensions between Iran and Israel against the backdrop of the devastating situation in Gaza. In recent months, the conflict between Israel and the Palestinians has escalated dramatically, leading to significant loss of life and calling international attention to the term Gaza genocide. This phrase has been used by critics to describe the scale and impact of Israeli military actions in Gaza. Meanwhile, Iran, known for its support of Palestinian groups, has been vocal in its condemnation of Israeli policies and actions, which it labels as oppressive. The conflict in Gaza is not just a localized issue. It has significant geopolitical implications involving key regional players, with Iran and Israel being at the forefront. Iran's support for Palestinian groups is part of a larger strategy to influence Middle Eastern politics and counter Israeli and Western influence in the region. Indeed, the complexity here is profound. Iran's role in the Middle East extends beyond mere support for allies. It's part of a broader ideological and strategic contest with Israel. To understand the present, we sometimes need to revisit the past. The history of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is long and painful, with roots stretching back over a century. The establishment of Israel in 1948, the wars that followed, and the ongoing struggle over land and sovereignty have all contributed to the current climate of hostility and despair. Each round of conflict in Gaza intensifies the humanitarian crisis in the region. The infrastructure is devastated, medical facilities are overwhelmed, and civilians are the most affected. International responses have varied, but none have successfully resolved the long-term issues at hand. And amid this, the role of international law and human rights comes into sharp focus. Accusations of war crimes and calls for international intervention make headlines, but on-the-ground realities complicate straightforward action. Sanctions, peace talks, and international diplomacy efforts continue, but peace and stability remain elusive. Looking forward, the international community must rethink its approach to not just managing but resolving this conflict. This includes understanding Iran's regional ambitions, Israel's security concerns, and the Palestinians' quest for statehood and human rights. It's clear that the Iran-Israel dynamic and the tragedy in Gaza are not just regional issues, but are also testaments to the challenges of modern geopolitics. It's a multidimensional chess game with historical grievances, religious significance, and global strategic interests at play. Thank you for joining us on World Order. Today's discussion reminds us of the complexities of international relations and the human costs of conflict. We encourage you to read, watch, and listen widely as you form your views on these critical issues. Until next time, keep watching closely, because understanding these issues is the first step towards advocating for a better world.
World Order. A geopolitical dialogue